Hello, everyone. Boy, this book has got a little bit of everything. It's got a great villain that I really, really loved. Great character building, great world building. It involves ghosts, a devil, and possibly a werewolf? Who knows? But we're going to talk about all that right now. All right, so our book today is called Ghost Road Blues by Jonathan Maberry. Or maybe it's Maberry. I don't know how you pronounce the last name, but anyway. This book came out in 2006, and I want to start out by saying that this is part of a trilogy of books, which I didn't know going in, but that's perfectly fine. This book was so good, I enjoyed it so much that as soon as I finished it, I immediately picked up the second of the trilogy, and I can't wait to get into that. And of course, I'll give you my reviews on all three eventually on this channel. But yeah, man, this is a fantastic, well-written book. And I think after I read it, I went back and read some reviews from other people. And some of the complaints people had were like, it was just too long. And I think it's 460 pages, somewhere in there, original print pages. But it did not feel like it to me. I read it in 2 days. I absolutely loved it. And because I know now it's a trilogy, I think the author did a very good job, because in this book he does take his time building all the characters and building this world that these characters are in and the events that are going to eventually lead up to his other books. And I enjoyed this world. I enjoyed these characters. They were all very, very detailed and well written, to the point where I felt like I knew that town, and I felt like I know these characters and what they're going through. And there is a lot to digest here. Even in a book that may only have one or two characters, when you're dealing with this many, and we see things from each of their points of view, and to be able to do that with everything going on in this book and make it seamless, make it all fit together, so that you, as the reader, you do not feel confused, you don't feel like some characters are being pushed aside for others. That's a testament to this author. And I absolutely loved it. I absolutely fell in love with the world, fell in love with these characters. And there is a lot going on. At the beginning, there's a demon who's being chased down by a man, an old black blues guitarist. He has a guitar slung around his shoulder there. And they are in a fight to the death. And eventually this man dispatches with the demon. But then he's surrounded after he's done so, because there's been a lot of deaths in this town, a lot of horrible deaths. And this man thinks, I finally killed the evil in this town. Maybe the events will stop. But as he's thinking these thoughts, he's surrounded by a bunch of rednecks from that town, a bunch of very bad people. And he's an older black man, and they can't figure out what he's doing out at night, wandering alone, when everybody else, because of the terrible things that have happened, are too scared to even come out by themselves at night. And they come to the conclusion that he must be the one that had done the killing. And so they kill him as well. But all of these characters we see from that scene are going to make their way into the book in the present day. The present day. And this man called the Bone Man, the old blues player, he'll come back to life. We find out that the demon was never slain. And the man, even though he was dead, he is weaker now. All that time spent in the grave. However, we learn the evil, the demon that had been buried in that swamp all those many years, has just grown stronger with time. And now he is unleashed back into the world, back into this town, and he's about to wreak havoc again. I guess there is one, if I had to pick one main protagonist, at least in this book, it would be the character of Crow is his name. He runs the haunted house attraction or the haunted hayride attraction. He has a Halloween store. This town, in this world, this town is known as like the scariest place in America because of Crow and because of his love of horror. And he runs a haunted hayride that's one of the most extreme in the whole country, you know, with really horrific props and events taking place along this hayride. People flock from miles around to come pay and take a ride on it. And he loves the horror, and he loves the extremeness of the way he set up this hayride, because he uses it to deal with things that have happened in his past, which you'll read about in this book. But the guy that actually owns all this is the mayor of the town. Him and Crow have been best friends since school, but the mayor is kind of squeamish. The mayor doesn't like any of the horror stuff, but it's a great moneymaker for that time of year for this town. That and all their Halloween store things set up around the autumn season. And so he's not a hands-on mayor or a business owner when it comes to this. He's a hands-on mayor, but not a hands-on business owner. So he lets Crow take care of it, and Crow's basically in charge. That would be the main character. However, none of these characters feel like secondary or just there as a background kind of characters, if you know what I mean. And this author has written one of the best, and I'm serious, the best psychopathic bad guys I've read in a book in a long time. I mean, this guy Ruger is, he is scary. Yeah, we have demons coming back from alive. We have coming back to life. We have dead men rising from the grave. But Ruger is probably the scariest thing in this particular book. Because as this evil rises and as it starts affecting other people and possessing other people and making them do these horrible things and have just very frightening psychopathic thoughts. Ruger is already a bad guy, a ruthless, vicious, psychopathic killer who doesn't care about anybody except himself. And when the demon starts taking him over, it becomes very bloody, very violent, very quickly. But he's so well written, and we see from his point of view enough things through his eyes, his thoughts and his feelings, and it chilled me. It chilled me because, supernatural creatures are supposed to be fun and scary, but people like this, we know, if you've ever read the news, that people like this actually exist in the real world, and making him that realistic and that terrifying in this book is something I give the author great props for, because truly one of the best bad guys I've read in a horror book in a long time. Because usually the focus of a horror book is the supernatural, the demons, ghosts, werewolves, vampires, what have you. But in this case, for me, definitely in this book anyway, the first book of the trilogy, Ruger was the ultimate scare because he scared me a great deal, and I love that. But could there be werewolves in this book? Some of the descriptions and things, and some of the scenes suggest that somewhere along the way there might be werewolves. Now, because it's a trilogy, of course, not everything is wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end of this book. But we do come to conclusions on some matters, but some he leaves wide open. And that's why I had to go out and buy the second book of this trilogy as soon as I finished this one, because I have to know what's going to go on there. Because we also have people like the little boy who has a very, very abusive, mean stepfather who constantly beats him and berates him. And when we see from this stepfather, his name is Vic. The stepfather's name is Vic. When we see from him, we find out that this evil has infested his mind and has for many years, actually. And his thoughts about the boy, how he wishes he could kill the boy, and how he wishes great harm upon this little kid, is truly a horrific thing to read also. And then there's a tow truck driver who's a devout Christian, and this evil infects his mind, and he gets to believe that he's hearing from God, and that he is God's chosen one. He is God's sword in the flesh. And God, through this evil demon he thinks is God, speaks to him and gives him visions of different people who he believes are demons and must be eradicated from the earth. And he will stop at nothing, because he is God's vengeance, he is God's sword, and he is set out to do the Lord's work. And that's pretty freaky stuff too. Like I said, a lot going on in this book, but it's all very well written. It all comes together. It all weaves itself into one fantastic, awesome tale. That I am thoroughly enjoying this trilogy. Like I said, this is the first book, and it did come out in 2006. But still, if you haven't read it, I highly, highly recommend it. It's worth your time. You'll love it. It's just fantastic. And I'll leave a link down below to Amazon if you want to purchase it from there. Ghost Road Blues. I'll also leave a link down below to my Twitter feed if you want to come join me on Twitter. I'd love to have you. And as always, thank you for spending some of your time with me. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really do. Thank you. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.